Okay, what a beautiful day. Welcome to join us. Okay, so this is the third part of a 4-part video on how to awesomize your life. And today we're going to talk about breathing patterns. If your breathing is stuck or reciprocal or paradoxical, you're not going anywhere. Okay, you'll never move properly, you'll never think properly, and you'll never have proper nervous system health if you don't nail your breathing patterns. And it's bigger than we think. I've said it's the 80-20 rule. I think 80% of people have a breathing pattern disorder or a breathing dysfunction. I kind of thought maybe that's an exaggeration, but that number just seems to keep showing up. So what is healthy breathing? Healthy breathing is really, really simple. We kind of need a 360 breathing. I think you need to envisage that this part of your body is like a balloon. And obviously it needs to get bigger to suck air in, and the whole balloon needs to get smaller to let air out. So 360 breathing is great. If you've been doing the flow rope, it really mobilizes your ribs, your thoracic spine, your chest, your sternum, so it's much easier to breathe into your chest. You'll be amazed at how restricted some people's rib cages are, especially too tight core. A lot of planking, a lot of cycling really shuts down your anterior rib cage, and you start to sort of breathe wide and be flat like a cobra. If that happens, you stop transverse movement. Another common pattern or problem with breathing is people breathe up into their chest too much, so they lift their ribs, but as their ribs going up or up in here, instead of lifting your shoulders to help your breathing, which is basically putting you in a state of anxiety. We definitely don't want that. It's very common in asthmatics, okay, because you're trying to suck in air and you get really tight neck muscles which clamp on your nerves, and one of them being the vagus nerve. So you can have an aberrant vagus nerve and phrenic nerve, which is the nerve to the diaphragm, because of a breathing pattern becomes a self-perpetuating problem. Another problem with breathing patterns that we see commonly is your diaphragm is up. So as you take a deep breath in, your stomach comes in, or your belly button draws in, and your diaphragm goes higher. And that's a big problem, okay? The primary breathing muscle, we talk about accessory breathing muscles, we talk about rib action. The number one thing with breathing is your diaphragm must go down as you breathe in. That's why yoga breathing is such a thing. So as I breathe in, my belly should get bigger, but also my ribs should go up. Okay, and for a lot of people, they can either go ribs up breathing in, but then their belly button goes in, or if they belly breathe, often their ribs drop. Okay, so as you're breathing in, your ribs will come down. And so what you kind of have to do is, as I breathe in, my ribs come up and my belly gets bigger. And as I breathe out, my ribs come down and my core engages and I kind of squeeze the air out. So think of yourself as a giant bellows. Now, the correct way to breathe is in and out through the nose almost all the time. The only time you're not breathing in and out through your nose is when you're talking or exercising at a significant intensity for you. Okay? You'll hear a lot of breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. I don't get it. Shut your mouth, close your mouth, and breathe in and out through your nose as much as possible, especially when you sleep at night. So if you wake up with a dry mouth, or you snore, or you mouth breathe when you sleep at night, please, you need to remedy that. You might need expert help to get it done. So some people do need to see an ear, nose, and throat specialist. I have a particularly sort of difficult time breathing through my right nose. It's persisted for a long time. I've had craniosacral work. I've had work on my turbinates inside my nose. I've strengthened it. I sleep with a Breathe Right strip because it just helps me breathe, and my quality of sleep goes through the roof. Maybe someone needs surgery, or you might need help with this by an expert, but get it done. And please make sure your children nose breathe, because while you're developing and growing, if I had been taught to nose breathe when I sleep at night as a child, my whole life would have been very different. Okay, so it's not too late. It might be a little late for you, and you've got to do damage control. It's not too late for your kids. Okay, and chew food. You need a strong jaw structure to frame your palate. The correct posture for your tongue is lips closed, teeth lightly apart or lightly touching, and then a big soft tongue pushing up on your palate, which basically frames and opens up your breathing so that you can nose breathe properly. So here I am, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, arching my back as I breathe in so that my ribs can go up. My lower back, it's totally okay for it to contract a little bit. Big belly, diaphragm down. When I breathe out, round my spine, engage my core. You can roll your pelvis back a little bit. And when your core contracts, your pelvic floor probably co-contracts. And that's like another deeper layer of breathing, is as you breathe out, your diaphragm goes up, but your pelvic floor must go with it, because your stomach contents are liquid and incompressible. Okay, so this is like liquid, it just goes up. So as your diaphragm goes up, it'll pull your pelvic floor up, and as your diaphragm drops down, it'll drop into your pelvic floor. And so by breathing in with a slight arch and breathing out with a slight round, contracting your core to help squeeze the air out, these are all healthy sort of cues. Your pelvic floor tightens slightly, and then you have a contracting and relaxing pelvic floor, which is a healthy pelvic floor. And contracting and relaxing your pelvic floor really, really helps your parasympathetic and sympathetic balance. Almost, I think, more so than, okay, no one's going to dispute vagus nerve is king when it comes to your autonomic nervous system. But if your pelvic floor is healthy, it sets up the vagus nerve to be an awesome king, okay? So it's really, really important that you have an empowered pelvis. And that's also one of the reasons we're doing the backward walking, and in the next video, the happy hip walking, so that you can have a relaxed, competent, healthy pelvic floor. There's 36 muscles between my hands, and they need to act in a dynamic, fluid, healthy way. And most people's pelvic floor is way too tight. You kind of know your pelvic floor is too tight if you're uptight, but also if you can't step and Lego, because uptight pelvic floor means tight plantar fascia, means your foot can't be adaptable and malleable and walk on rough surfaces and different surfaces. Okay, so that's kind of breathing nailed. Okay, the most important thing, if you gently block your nose 50% and I breathe in, that'll really help you get your diaphragm down. So I breathe in with a bit of restriction, let go of my nose, breathe out through the nose, and the tempo, so I'm going to count slow count of 5 in and slow count of 7 out. So slightly longer exhales, breathing in with a little bit of resistance can really, really help stimulate your diaphragm. And 5 breaths, as little as 5 breaths like that, can actually change and give you a bit of a mental focus and a reframe in case you're feeling uptight or anxious and you need to reframe. And 10 breaths can profoundly sort of change your perspective of life. It happens pretty quickly. But learning to breathe in this pattern is very, very healthy, and you need to do it a lot, okay? So modern life, emails, sitting, the constant stimulation that we have, loud noises, bangs, startles, mechanical noises, sharp mechanical noises, all of the above can really, really wreck our breathing patterns. So it's really important that you have a breathing practice. I mean, let's call it 365 breathing. 3 times a day, slow your breathing down to 6 breaths per minute, which is 5 in, 7 out, will be 6 breaths per minute. Okay, you don't have to always have a resisted nose, and do that for 5 minutes. And that's a really, really healthy way to reset your breathing and make your breathing healthy. Now, my preferred way of doing this is I hum. So I breathe in through my nose and I hum out. So while I'm doing tasks, let's say I'm making up flow ropes and shipping them, I'll breathe in through my nose and hum out. And it's really, really powerfully transforms your mental and emotional state and the state of your nervous system. The vibrations and extra stimulation for your vagus nerve, and the vibration also helps with nitric oxide. It's a bronchodilator, just enhances and awesomizes your breath. So you can hum while you drive. You can do ultra spiritual hums, okay, or you can hum along to a tune, or you can just hum. Tongue on the roof of your mouth, teeth lightly apart or lightly touching, lips closed. It gives you a Mona Lisa smile. You can swallow to get your tongue up there. Okay, your tongue shouldn't be hammering into the back of your front teeth. It should be pushing up and framing your palate and lightly touching the front of your teeth. And so practice humming will help you. The auditory cue, as soon as you stop humming, you realize, I stopped humming because the humming's gone, okay? But also the humming helps you practice your proper mouth and palate structure. So you can do that and make that a habit over the next 10 days or 2 weeks, which is how long it takes to kind of form a habit, and that habit will slowly change your life. Remember, it's very, very hard to change. It's easier to be changed, and you need to either change your habits or your environment in order to change, not want to change. So that's it for breathing and healthy breathing. Just nail those fundamentals. Nose breathe when you sleep at night. Nose breathe most of the time, and make sure that when you breathe in, your diaphragm goes down and your ribs go up. And you can gently add your pelvic floor into that for bonus points. Okay, so the next video is the big one. Happy hip hack, central crawling pattern. Thank you for listening. Remember to like yourself, subscribe to yourself, and turn on notifications so that when the universe talks to you, you receive the notifications and you can listen and make your life more awesome. One beautiful day, one breath, one step at a time. Okay, change happens to you. Put yourself in position to be changed.